95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Beaver, today girls can be doctors and lawyers, too, you know. They're just as ambitious as boys are.
The times you're sitting at a table where there are no people of color, no women, if you're tolerating that, that is the workplace that's going to be waiting for your little girl. Daughter.
Because I'm a woman. Phenomenal woman. All you women and me.
Welcome to another edition of Hashtag She Talk. It is where I, MalaniKai, go one-on-one with intriguing and interesting women from various walks of life. It is my goal for Hashtag She Talk to bring in all types of women from every career field you can think of. My first time ever in the studio of having a fire chief. So let's welcome to Word on the Streets, Hashtag She Talk. She's from the city, well, not from, she's the fire chief in the city of Forest Park, and she is here. She is live in the studio, Fire Chief Latosha Clemons. Welcome to Hashtag She Talk.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming down to our studio, suited out in the Fire Chief gear with all the patches. I think they mean things and all the buttons and stuff. We'll get to that. Some of you are watching us on WSBradio.com. So let's start with something really basic. Fire Chief 101 for dummies. We hear it all the time. Any city we go, it doesn't matter where we're from. We hear, oh, the fire chief, the fire chief, the fire chief. What are you doing, Fire Chief Clemons?
Oh, man, absolutely. It's unique. It's not unique to any military type organization where you have an org chart. The fire chief sits at the top, so the fire chief has the balcony perspective of the organization. On the bottom, you have your boots on the ground, but we do have that org chart that goes from the fire chief, deputy chief, division chiefs, battalion chiefs, captains, lieutenants, and then your boots on the ground. So fire chief manages it all the daily ins and outs, the operations, the budget, just all the administrative aspects of the organization. So like I said, the bird's eye view.
What I found really interesting is me not knowing, being one of the dummies that knew nothing about. I mean, I knew you were the top in command, but I didn't know what it took to get to your position. And when I started reading about you for this, I saw you have gone to school. Yeah. And gone to school and got degrees. And aside from doing the work, we'll get to that. So to get to your position as fire chief, is that a requirement for all the degrees that you have and all the certification? Is that a requirement, or that's something that you wanted to do to get to fire chief?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a lifelong learner myself. To become a firefighter, you have to be a high school graduate, of course. Then you have to go to fire academy for a certain amount of months. You have to go to EMT class for a certain amount of months. Then you have the pre-entry qualifications, whether it's your candidate physical ability, your interviews, all the internal processes to get you hired. And then once you hired, each organization has their particular career path, and that takes you to your promotional opportunities. So I took the opportunity to attack them all. And then outside of that, I went outside of that scope. So your formal education, your informal education, your technical competencies, just being a lifelong learner.
Fire Chief Latosha Clemons on Hashtag She Talk. Let's go back to Florida when you're a kid and you're growing up. Who says as a kid, as a girl, hey, I want to be a firefighter? I mean, obviously, did you say that as a kid, or was it in your family, or was that something that hit you around teenage? When did this hit you?
Listen, I can tell you, there's a motto out there that says, if you can't see it, you can't be it. Or if you see it, you can be it. I didn't see it when I was coming up. So no, this wasn't a childhood dream. I never thought about being in the fire service. I pretty much wanted to work with kids. I wanted to be a physical education teacher once I graduated from college. But that was, that went beside me. I went back home after going to college, working for Parks and Recreation. With that, I still was able to work with kids and mentor kids. At that time, the city of Boynton had gotten the first black fire chief. His name was Floyd Jordan. I give him all the credits for why I'm here today. And a few friends were like, hey, you need to go talk to that fire chief. Now, I've always been pretty physical and athletic, so I know I always wanted to be a service to my community. So after speaking with Chief Jordan and him writing me my letter to attend the academy back then, my career path took off from there. So I was able to serve my community from there.
So when I think of fire chief and you start as being a firefighter, I guess I thought you were coming on. Of course, I saw your pictures doing my research, but never really paid attention. I thought you were going to come in and be this big, robust woman because you've got to carry the fire hose, which weighs how much?
Oh, man, it varies.
And the suit.
And
so
the
you
suit.
got, yeah,
you got
so,
about 50 to 80 pounds on
yeah,
you with all of that.
So you turned the corner. I was on the air. I said, that's not who I was expecting. I was expecting some big woman, not out of shape, but just some big, robust woman, and you're not. So if you're watching her on WSBRadio.com, you can see that. So you decide to get into this profession. You're in, you make history in Florida, in that particular, I forgot, is it a Boynton Beach?
Yeah, City of Boynton.
Yeah, City of Boynton. And then you come to Forest Park as the first female fire chief for the city of Forest Park. How does that come about?
Listen, after I left the city of Boynton, I was idle for about 8 months. Idle meaning I wasn't working. I stayed busy, but I just wasn't working. When I saw this opportunity in Georgia, I just jumped on it. I applied, got the opportunity. I felt very blessed. I've been there since December 2020. It's been a blessing. Great staff, great team, great leadership in the city of Forest Park, and I couldn't have been appointed to a better organization.
What's a day in your life like? Because now you're not, once you get up to a certain level in any organization, you're not physically out there fighting fires. Yeah. What's a day in your life as the fire chief in Forest Park like?
Listen, we are an all-hazard organization where we respond to EMS calls, we respond to fires. We have our hazmat team. We are an emergency management organization where we prepare our community and our members for natural disasters, natural and man-made disasters. So my job is pretty much, like I said, taking that balcony perspective, manage all the day-to-day operations of the entire organization. That's our resources, which is our people, places, and time, our equipment, make sure the men and women have the best equipment. And that takes a team. You know, although I sit at the top, at the helm, I have a dynamic team that helps me lead that organization, and they're doing a wonderful job, and I can't do it without them.
Forest Park City, Forest Park Fire Chief, Latosha Clemons on hashtag She Talk. We're live, we're local, it's word on the street, 813. I coach basketball. I've only coached boys. I coach high-level prep basketball, and I would often get when the young men from Redemption Christian Academy in New York or New England would come in and they'd say, that's my coach. Back in the day, that's a female, a little different now. And then my assistant coaches were males. I can only imagine what it may be like for you. Maybe it wasn't, but you got some strong, husky. I've seen them in the calendars. You know, they look good. They're strong. They're husky. They've got muscles. Some of them are sexy. They're grown. And in comes Fire Chief Clemons.
Yeah.
Was that problematic at all?
Listen, firefighters come in all shapes, sizes, tall, short, some heavier than others, some lighter than others. It's a team effort.
But you're a girl.
Well, that's okay. It's a team effort.
Yeah.
I've been blessed. You've had 14 women, black women fire chiefs across the country.
That's it.
There's probably 8 of us that are active now. So I stand on their shoulders. Go
back.
Yeah.
You're saying in all of United States of America,
black women fire chiefs.
Black women fire chiefs because there are cities all over the place. You're saying there have been only 14 and maybe 8 active now African-American women.
That is correct.
Okay. And so you don't see, just as a woman in general, not even just African-American, just as a woman in general, you never run into, of course, not Forest Park, maybe one of those other places. You never ran into, like, really? I've got to be under her?
I lead by example. I believe in leading from the front. So I model myself where others don't mind following. I don't take personal feelings personally. I set the example up front. So I try to command that presence, and I've been doing a good job so far.
What do you say to little girls listening to you right now, or not even just little girls listening to you? What do you say to the woman who's 25 years old, 30 years old, and says, hey, you know what? I've thought about it, just never knew if women got respect as firefighters or anything like that. What do you say to these girls and these women listening to the first female fire chief from the city of Forest Park?
That's why representation matters, right? So, like I said before, the motto is if you can't see it, you can't be it. So now they see it, all shapes, sizes. Now they know they can attain to be it. So it's my job to be a model for them and give them some feedback, encourage them, let them know that this career field is for everybody. It's a diverse field for everybody. There's a term called occupational segregation. And that term is where when there's 25% women represent 25% in male-dominated fields and vice versa. Well, there's men in 25% in women-dominated fields. So it takes a diverse group of people. You can be anything in any career choice that you choose, as long as you work hard, you gain the criteria, you can do it.
Have you ever gone into a situation when you were actually fighting the fires where it was so dangerous that you thought you could lose your life, but you knew you signed up for this, so you got to go do it anyway?
You know, that's why it takes a team. And when you're properly trained with the right resources, you know, we know that coming into this field, there's a certain amount of risk, but with the proper training, with team effort and a good attitude, we're hoping that everybody comes out safe. Even myself, I survived it for over 25 years. So
you fought the fires for 25 years.
I've been I've been in operations. I've been in operations
for 25 years.
Now I'm on the balcony.
So now you're on the balcony. And so what is the percentage of women right now? Do you know that number, maybe whether it's in Georgia or the United States, that are firefighters?
I tell you what, I'll give you a statistic that continues to stay stagnant, and I know we're working on it. Women represent roughly 4% of career firefighters nationally.
Is that because firefighting, let's be honest, has traditionally been a guy's job, a man's occupation? Is there still that stigma that it's a man's occupation?
I think the fire service is trending and it's changing. As I said, there's been 14 African-American women fire chiefs across the country. There's even more of, even white women. There's more white women fire chiefs across the country. Women are steadily coming into this career field. It's just, a choice. It's a choice.
Gotcha. So it's #SheTalk, Forest Park, City of Forest Park Fire Chief. She's the first female to ever do this in the city of Forest Park. Chief Clemons is here. When we get back from the break, it'll be a real quick break. But when we come back, she's going to give you some advice. If you're listening, whether you're male, whether you're female, young, whether you're getting out of college, you're getting out of high school, she's going to give you the advice and the roadmap to how to become a firefighter and to get into that field. So we're coming right back. #SheTalk on Word on the Street.
Awesome.
Forest Park is in the house for a #SheTalk. Fire Chief Latosha Clemons, but also they are listening in Forest Park. Dr. Paul Fortson of Paradise Community Development, he's listening. The mayor, thank you, Mayor Angeline Butler, she's listening. And so thank you, Forest Park, for listening. Somebody wants to get into, anybody, man, boy, girl, wants to get into your profession.
Well, first of all, you have to have a passion and a heart to serve. Being in the fire service is a public service to your community. So long as you have a heart and a passion to serve, you're ready to become a firefighter.
Not about the money?
Well, it's not about the money. Although money is important, it's the heart and the passion behind it. A high school graduate, look into which fire academy in your community, see what the pre-requirements are, scout out the surrounding organizations and departments to see which one fits your ethics and values. Go ahead and apply, and then after that, you go through their internal process.
We appreciate you coming all the way from the beautiful city of Forest Park. Forest Park, to me, is like a hidden gem. A lot of people don't know about it. It really is.
I was going to say that.
I
was going to say that coming in here. It's a beautiful city.
It really, really is. And we hope to chat with Mayor Angeline Butler soon. But Forest Park Fire Chief Latosha Clemons, thank you so much for coming out for #SheTalk. We'll be keeping up what's happening out there. Anytime you need us, we got you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.